Okay, so I did some digging on this whole Afrikaner refugee program drama. I even made a video about it yesterday, which you should check out. If you haven't, I highly recommend you watch it before you watch this one. Because I was wondering, why is the African National Congress so mad about this? They're having press conferences, they're calling them names, they're fighting America over these people. It's giving major triggered energy. So then I decided to go down a rabbit hole trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And guys, I think I cracked the code. This isn't about refugees. This is about something like way deeper. And honestly, it's kind of wild. Okay, so first things first, this refugee program is basically America telling the whole world South Africa's government is so bad. People need refugee status to escape it. Think about that. Think about that for a second. America literally looked at our country and was like, yeah, these people need international protection from their own government. The government is the mafia now. That is not a good look, or is it? It's like if your friend's parents started offering your other friends a place to stay because their place is unsafe. Having someone else pointed out publicly is embarrassing. And the ANC's whole thing is protecting this image of being the great moral leaders of Africa, right? They're the rainbow nation. They are Mandela's legacy, right? All of that. Having America grant refugee status to South Africans completely destroys that narrative. Completely. And here's where it gets spicy. I didn't just wake up one day and decide I'm gonna make a video about this. Trump didn't just wake up one day and say I'm gonna help Afrikaners. He saw the land expropriation laws, and that alone was more than enough justification for the refugee program. So America looked at ANC's actual laws and said, yeah, this is discriminatory enough to qualify people for refugee status. You know what I mean? That's huge. Imagine if your teacher graded your essay and then told other students they could transfer classes because your work was so bad it was affecting their education. That is essentially what happened here. But then there's more. Because the ANC can't admit their policies might be discriminatory because their entire political identity is based on fighting discrimination. You see what I'm saying? So they are stuck defending policies that America officially labeled as persecution. Trump claimed there is a genocide happening against white South Africans too. We all know whether that's true or not. But having the President of the United States say that about your country is intense, whether it's true or not. The word genocide carries serious international weight. It's not just about political rhetoric, it's a legal term that can trigger international intervention, sanctions, investigations, all of those things. So when Trump uses that word, he's not just criticizing the ANC, he is potentially setting up justification for international action against South Africa. And the ANC knows this. So they have to fight back against that label because if it sticks internationally, South Africa could face serious consequences, which we are. We have political sanctions now, international isolation, economic damage, all of that works. So here's something I also noticed that is actually really hilarious. The ANC spent years saying these communities are problematic and they need to transform or whatever. They've made it pretty clear these people are not welcome in the new South Africa. But the second America offers to take them, suddenly the ANC is like, oh snap, no, wait, these are our people. It's giving major I don't want you, but you can't leave me energy. You need to pick a lane. It's like what I said yesterday. Either you want these people or you don't. The refugee program basically called their bluff. They've been talking tough about transformation and dealing with white privilege. But when push comes to shove and people actually want to leave, suddenly they're fighting to keep them. Can you see the confusion here? Here's something the ANC doesn't want to admit publicly. A lot of these potential refugees are actually productive, tax-paying, and skilled people, right? So now South Africa is already dealing with massive brain drain and economic problems. You don't know what that is? Look it up. Having America specifically target skilled people for resettlement is not great for the country. But the ANC can't say we need these people for economic reasons, because that would contradict their whole narrative about these communities being problematic. So now they're stuck watching skilled people leave while pretending they don't care. It's like your toxic manager finally driving away their best employees and then realizing the company is screwed without them, but being too proud to admit they made a mistake. You get what I mean? So this is a case of you don't know how good something is until it's gone. Because the refugee program isn't about helping people only, it's a political chess move. America's basically saying, we don't like your government's policies, so we're going to help some of your citizens escape them because they want to. It's diplomatic pressure disguised as humanitarian aid. It's actually very clever because the ANC knows this really isn't about helping refugees. It's about embarrassing us and pressuring the South African government. But they can't say that publicly because that makes them look like they are opposing humanitarian efforts. So they are stuck fighting a battle they can't win publicly or privately. If they oppose the program, they look like they're trapping citizens, which they are. If they support it, they are admitting their policies are problematic. The ANC's whole identity is built on being the liberation movement that created a free, democratic South Africa. They are supposed to be the good guys who fix everything, right? So having people need refugee status from that government they created, that completely undermines their entire historical narrative. It's like if someone who claimed to have built the best house in the neighborhood had people fleeing their property seeking emergency shelter. It makes you question whether whether they actually built what they claimed to build. You know what I mean? This refugee program sets a precedent. If America starts granting refugee status to South Africans, other countries might follow. We could see mass immigration of skilled people, brain drain accelerate, and international recognition of South Africa as an officially unsafe country. The ANC is actually probably terrified because this is just the beginning. Today it's just Afrikaners and racial minorities. Tomorrow it could be anyone who feels persecuted by government policies. Here's what I think the ANC's biggest fear is. What if the refugee program works? What if majority people leave, find success elsewhere, and start talking about how much better life is outside Ningizimu Africa? That would create a narrative that the ANC government is so bad, people are better off as refugees in foreign countries than citizens in their own. That is devastating for any government's credibility. What's really strange is how this ANC is handling this, because instead of trying to address the concerns that made the people want to leave, they're just attacking the people for wanting to leave. It's like if your restaurant had bad reviews, like really bad reviews, and instead of improving the food and the hospitality, you just started yelling at customers for complaining in the first place. That, my friends, is not how you fix problems. A smart government would use this as feedback. Oh, my people feel unsafe, so much so that they need a refugee status. I should start addressing these safety concerns. But nah, the ANC chose chaos. I think the ANC knows their policies and governance has problems, but they are too invested in their narrative to admit it. The refugee program forces them to either admit the problems or double down in denial. They choose denial, which means attack the program, attack the refugees and anyone who supports it like me, attack America, basically attacking everyone except themselves. It's classic deflection behavior. When you can't defend your actions, attack everyone pointing out the problems with your actions. The ANC resents this refugee program because it exposes everything they don't want exposed. Their policies might be discriminatory, their governments might be failing, and people might be better off elsewhere. But instead of taking this as an opportunity for self-reflection and improvement, they've chosen to shoot the messenger and hope the message disappears.